Okay, everyone. The reason why I started off with a beat is because it is my doing. It's my music. No one can claim anything on it. I'm trying to see if I can have it continuing. There it is. Okay. For those of you that do not follow me on Instagram, I'm going to be talking about a sensitive topic. Monday, not this Monday, the last, I went to the ICU. Okay, let me put a warning. The warning is I may be talking about puking, blood, and other gross stuff, so bear with me. I went to the ICU because I was puking. I was really out of it, like super out of it, and I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I sat on the side of the tub for 2 straight hours, not moving. I asked my dad to take me to the hospital, and he said later. If this continues, it'll be later. What I had was actually fatal. Come on, Magic. Go. I say this because I Googled it, and yes, what I had could have killed me if we waited. I was puking so much that I was severely dehydrated. I could not keep anything down, and it was horrible. I took some Pepto-Bismol before I started puking, and I had this before, and I could usually nip it in the butt before with Pepto-Bismol. But this time around, I couldn't. I puked up the Pepto. I puked up my dinner from last night. I puked up everything. And I could not keep anything down. And I'm sorry if I repeat a lot of this. I do have dyslexia, so I found out that that's the reason why I repeat a lot of stuff. What I had, it took my dad to see me puking up something that looked like blood. For him to consider it serious. How I knew it was the same thing I had before, that I was able to stop it, was the rotten egg breath. Now, when you Google this, it says you may experience fruity breath. It says nothing about rotten egg breath. It wasn't until I went to the hospital to figure out what happened. So ambulance was called because I could not move. I could not do anything. My dad realized it was something serious once he gave me my phone, and all I did was drop it. I literally just dropped my phone. I couldn't move. I was in so much pain, and yeah. Okay. I could not buckle my pants. I hate the fact that I had to walk down the stairs with a firefighter holding the back of my pants for me to get down faster because I was seriously moving slow and it was a serious thing. Um, so I had a bucket with me the entire time and they had to remove the bucket because they couldn't take it on the ambulance. Um, of course, they go over with me, did you take any drugs, or do you smoke, do you drink? Of course, I said no. The only thing I took that was recent was the Jardians. That's the brand new medicine that I was given, and that's the only thing I take. So they put an IV in me because it was obvious that I was very dehydrated. They gave me something to puke in. By that time, I was just dry heaving and puking anything like saliva that I may have swallowed. This is why I said it was very gross content, and I apologize. They kept asking me, are you sure you want to go to this hospital instead of this one? And I later found out why they said that. Because the hospital that my dad wanted me to go to did not have overnight stay in the ICU. So, for those of you that don't know what ICU is, it's intensive care unit. I was hyperventilating. I couldn't control it. I don't know what to say. I just couldn't do anything besides dry heave and possibly spit something up. My mouth was so dehydrated. It was so dehydrated that not dehydrated. It was so dry. It was so dry that I ended up forming mucus, some type of mucus in my mouth, and I needed water to get rid of it. I needed to spit, and I couldn't because of how dry it was. Obviously, I wasn't allowed to drink or eat anything. And I was miserable. It was horrible. I did not get any sleep at all because as soon as I finally stopped, like, puking, was when I tried to fall asleep. And I was sleeping with my head bent down. So I had a hurt neck, basically. I didn't mean for that to happen. It just did. Okay. And every time I get woken up by someone walking into the room and all, I start dry heaving again. And I hated every minute of it. I wasn't doing this on purpose, and everything upset me. Everything made me sick to the stomach. And it's just, I needed help. It, I was so in pain, and everything just upset me to the point where I told my dad to stop talking. I literally told him that his voice was making me sick. I didn't mean to say that, but he just kept talking and talking and talking. And it's like, just leave me alone. It's bad enough that I have to hear the beeping of the goddamn machines. I was in so much pain. I wanted him to stop. I really did. I wanted him to stop talking. Oh. And I didn't mean to hurt his feelings. And I told him that. And it's just, he plays the victim card as a joke. He plays it as a joke because, in a way, it was kind of funny. The first hospital that they took me to, yes, first hospital, was something that my dad wanted me to go. But then as soon as night fell, I had to be transferred to another hospital. And it was kind of like, it wasn't fun, is what I'm trying to get at. It was not fun. Because the first, I'm so sorry. I really am. I had all this planned out, and I can't think of anything right now. I'm so sorry. The first ambulance ride, they did not restrict my arms so I can use what they gave me to puke in. The second ambulance ride, they restricted my arms, and I kept leaning forward to puke, and I couldn't reach my bag, and it was just so horrible. I hated every minute of that. I hated every minute of that. It was so horrible. Because I was afraid I was going to choke on my own puke because of how they binded me down. And I understand it's for safety reasons, but I hate it. I hated it. The ICU was great though. They gave me a chair to sit in, like a lounge chair, because I needed to be set up. I could not lay down because my stomach was in so much pain, and I could not move. I was on 3 IVs. I had 3 goddamn IVs in me, and I couldn't move. I couldn't toss and turn. I couldn't do anything. One thing I could do that the other hospital let me do was walk to the bathroom. I was able to walk to the bathroom. So I knew my ability to walk at that point. Mm. And this is where it gets even weirder and probably grosser. The second hospital, I had to pee. They wouldn't let me use the bathroom that they had inside my room. This nurse gave me a bed thing to pee in, I refused because I didn't feel comfortable doing that. I wanted to use a toilet. She said, no, no, no. You have to pee in that. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I had already taken my underwear off, and she saw I was wearing a pad. And because she saw that it was dry, oh, let me just snatch that right up and throw it out. She snatched my pad and threw it out. Let that sink in. Let that sink in with you. I was possibly still on my period, or even like continuing my period. But I think that it was just like spotting. That's what it's called. I think it was just spotting. It wasn't actual period yet. But here's the thing. I bled through to the bed, to the the chair that they gave me. All because of her. Hey, I didn't tell you to do that. Okay. All because of her. So when they moved me, finally, no wait, they gave me ice to chew on because they wanted to see if I could keep something down, which I was able to, thankfully, the next day, Tuesday. What I had is diabetic ketoacidosis, and it's fatal. It is. There. Let me see here. Diabetic, yes, right here. Right here. A serious diabetes complication where the body produces excess blood acids. Okay. It's common, but it needs to be a medical diagnosis. You can't just say, hey, I think I have this. Symptoms. Okay, let's go to symptoms. People may experience pain areas in the stomach. Whole body dehydration, excessive thirst, fatigue. I was feeling the fatigue and dehydration. The thirst, I mean, I'm always thirsty, so it's not a symptom to me. But I really was, like, needing some type of water in my mouth. Okay. Loss of appetite, which that only happened after getting released from the emergency room. Emergency room sucks. It does. It sucks. Molasses, I don't know what that is, but I'm not even going to guess. Or weakness. Isn't that what fatigue is? Just weakness. Okay. Nausea or vomiting, I had both. Mouth dryness or fruity scented breath. That is BS. It was rotten eggs and y'all. It was rotten eggs. I don't know why they don't have that as an option, but it was rotten eggs. I remember when I had this before, I asked my dad to take me to a doctor because this isn't something I normally experience. And he threw a hissy fit, like, fine, I'll take you to a gastrologist, but it never happened. if he had done that, I probably would have found out that I was not a type 2. I was a type 1. I was probably a type 1 a long, long time ago, even though this can affect both type 1 and type 2. Rapid breathing, which is what I was doing. I did not have the like excessive urinary thing. I didn't have that while in the hospital. I actually, in all honesty, only peed like maybe 5 times. And I was there for 3 whole days. Well, not whole days, 2 whole days and 1.5. Mainly because we had to call the cops. So yeah, we had to call the cops to get me released. And you might be wondering, why? Why? You should be in there. Blah, blah, blah. You need more help. Blah, blah, blah. No, one doctor said that he was going to give me 2 hours until he releases me. The other doctor said, no, let's keep them overnight. And what really made me have a mental breakdown as to like why I didn't want to stay was 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the morning. A nurse came in to do a unnecessary poking. They poked my wrist, and I have to tell you right now, that was the most painful thing that I was experiencing right then. It was worse than the stomach pain I had, and I was still kind of fatigued from that. I was eager to eat, even though their food sucked, and they had me on a carb diet, which did not make any sense, because I'm diabetic, and carbohydrates is basically just sugar for my body. So I don't know. Their water sucks, their ice sucks, their mask smells exactly like the water. I don't know what the hell they do, but they were insistent that I wear a mask while I'm trying to puke. I'm usually the type of person that would wear a mask. I am. I don't find any issue with wearing a mask. Unless, of course, I'm about to fucking puke. When they transferred me to the emergency room, they put me in with a roommate. My roommate was, I don't know if she was, had some type of brain issue, or if she had Alzheimer's or whatever, but she was bedridden. She could not remember anything, and she was just kind of a nuisance. Kind of. I mean, it was, the nurses didn't want to do anything with her, and that was kind of horrible because she was given laxatives. She was given laxatives, and they didn't want to take care of her. She was bedridden. She couldn't get out of bed. So they decided to give her laxatives. Do you know how horrible, how goddamn horrible that was? I could not get a good night's sleep because she's talking, complaining, and in all honesty, I understand why she was complaining, because one of my IVs needs to be removed because there was bleeding. The IV, there was blood coming out of it, and I needed a nurse. I called the nurse, 3 hours later, my call was turned off without anyone checking on me. So I called again. 3 hours go by, and someone actually comes in saying, hey, you need anything? Yeah, my arm's bleeding. I'm so glad that I didn't fucking die from that. I wanted some actual food. I wanted some water that wasn't their goddamn water. I wanted water bottles. I wanted those water bottles and that they only give you during lunches. They gave me enough shots for the nausea to probably kill a horse. That's how bad my nausea was. It was so bad. They were concerned to give me any more within hours of giving me it. Yeah. One thing I hated about the whole entire experience, besides puking my guts out and dealing with needles, was that they kept asking, are you taking any medications? Are you on any type of blah, 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 blah? And it's like, I've gone over this 1,000 goddamn times. I am not a druggie. I don't take medications that aren't prescribed to me. I felt like they didn't believe that I was seriously going through this. Probably because of the neighborhood that I live in, and it's pretty bad. This hospital did not want to release me. They wanted to keep me overnight again. I had to... Okay. I asked my nurses over and over and over again, remove the unused IVs because no one was using them. I wasn't hooked up to any bags at the time when I wanted to leave. One doctor says that I can leave. The other one wants me to stay. Yeah. Another reason why I wanted to leave was because one nurse had to get some blood from my knuckles or something, and they put the needle in, no blood was coming out. Wiggle, 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 while the needle was still in me, no blood was coming out. He pokes deeper, finally. So he had no idea what he was doing. So he asked me not to hate him. He literally said, please don't hate me. I know it was his job to do it and whatnot, but it was so painful. I wanted to just go. I didn't want anything to do with needles anymore. I still have the holes in my arms. I can somewhat still feel them, but they're not as bad. I was so fatigued since when coming home. Wednesday is when I came home. It was somewhere past 12 when I was finally allowed to leave. I had a raging headache because I was dealing with so much BS and they were aborting everything. And here's the thing, the nurses are supposed to get you water bottles and all that stuff if you ask. And I asked, and she says, oh, you could just call them. I can't reach the goddamn phone. So I asked her to write down the number, write down the number, and she didn't do that. She's like, oh, it's just the word chef. Yeah, like I can fucking spell that. I can't. I have issues spelling, and I know this. So I never got those water balls I wanted. No, I thought it was kind of BS. Okay. During the ICU, they gave me soda. They gave me Diet Pepsi and 0-calorie ginger ale or something like that. And they were good. They were actually pretty good. I was not given those items in the emergency room. I was barely even given water. They didn't care about their patients. And this hospital is supposed to be the best hospital in my area. The only good thing about it is the ICU. I appreciate them, I really do, but they don't answer their calls, they don't do anything for anything. My first night in that room with my roommate who was given laxatives, the nurses were arguing, laughing, and all that right directly in front of our door. And we were trying to sleep. And it was horrible. My roommate finally snapped at them, and they just laughed. They just fucking laughed, and it was horrible. I missed my cat. And I think I'm going to stop talking. This video is probably long enough.